What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show y'all guys how to replace the rear motor on the crew cab Ford OBS trucks. I've been looking around a lot on the web to see if I can find any good write-ups on it. There's one or a couple where you have to get the whole motor, turn it around, get it out of a little hole to get the motor out and replace it. These motors go out a lot. Y'all know on the fronts, the plastic balls that are in there break a lot, and it makes basically the truck click when you roll the window down or up. Mainly when it goes up, it doesn't have enough power to go up, so it just clicks. I've been having that problem with these rear doors. I was gonna do the where you have to take out the whole regulator out, the motor and the regulator, but it really is a pain. I've seen YouTube videos on it, and they say it takes a couple hours to get that out, just because you have to turn it and it's real tight. Last night I was looking online and I saw an old form. What a man did was kind of what they do in the front, was where they drill out holes to get to the bolts, the 8mm bolts, to take the motor out, because that's all you really need to replace is the motor. So I looked that up, and he had a diagram. Let me show you right here. He had a diagram right here, kind of shows you where the bolts are at. Now I've done the passenger side rear already, and then the bolts are a little bit off than what he had. He said it was just a guesstimate on where he thought the bolts were at. On to the right over here, I put 4 inches. It's closer to 4 inches instead of a 3.5. And then on the top, it's about 5.5 from the top to get to that hole. What I'm using to drill the holes is I'm just using this hole saw. It's about, I guess it doesn't say on there. It's an 1 1/8. You could probably use an 1.5 if you want a little bit more room. He was using a 1/2 inch, and that works, but you know, when you look at all these holes on here, they're pretty big. Let's see, like this one right here. Let me put this down. Like this hole right here, this one's pretty big. It's probably a 1.5 inch, maybe 2. So I just kind of keep it, look where it's stock. More room's better to get to the bolts and not drop your bolts in the door frame. So I went with a 1 1/8 to drill out. But I'm gonna show you guys real quick how easy it is to get it out. Literally takes 30 minutes just to get it out, you know, and then the repair is easy as that. You use a couple nuts or some fuel line, rubber hose, and stick it in the gear, and it'll be working. So let me show you guys how I did it. It's a lot faster than the other ways. You do gotta drill 2 holes, but for 2 hours, saving 2 hours, it's way worth it, and it doesn't look that bad if you do a nice job. So let me show you how I did it. Okay, first thing I do is I put a little clamp with a shirt over on the window, because the window will drop after you take that motor out. Just put a little bit of light pressure. I just get an old shirt like this, stick it around. You don't want to break the glass, so just very light pressure. What I do is I clamp it, and I just put a little bit of turns up on the top on the C-clamp, and that usually holds that up for you. Next, we're going to take the door panel off. It's just 3 screws on the bottom here. And then we got one up on top right here in the armor. And we should be able to pop this door off. There it goes. Watch the lock. I get this handle up a little bit, slide it out. There's that. There's a light bulb behind here. Unplug that, twist it, and then you got your motor, your switch right here. You're just gonna have to pop that off. There's 2 clips on the left and the right of it. There's that. You're gonna just put your door panel aside. So here it is. Let me get y'all guys closer. So here it is. Here's where we're gonna be working on. One hole you can already get access to the 8mm right there, and then we're gonna drill 2 more. I'm gonna measure out where they are. You could also kind of look just kind of behind and figure out where the bolts are at. There's one right here. So we know we're gonna have to drill one right about here, and there's another one. It's 3 bolts. There's gonna be another one right around here somewhere. So I'm gonna measure that out real quick. I'll update you with the measurements on the paper. But let's measure that out and see where they're at, and I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so I located where the holes are gonna be. Here's one of the holes right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. Made a little dimple right there. So on my paper here, that one says it's 6 1/4. It's actually around 6 1/2. 6 1/2 from this point, 6 1/2 down, and then from here over is 3 1/4, and that gets you that bolt, that hole right there. Like I said, you can also look through here, kind of put your finger there and put the hole there. And then my second one on the bottom right here is gonna be this one, and this one is 6 1/2 coming down from this line down here, 6 1/2, and then 1 inch from this recess line right here, 1 inch over, and that'll get you to that bottom bolt right there. So 6 1/2 down, 1 inch over, and then this one is, I'm sorry, this one is 4 3/4 going down, and 3 inches and 3/4 going over, and that'll get you that one. So I have it right here. So from here down, it's 4 3/4, and then from here over here, it's 3 3/4. From here down, 6 1/2, and then 1 inch over, and that'll get you to that bolt right there. This is the easiest way I've found to do it. My first time doing the repair. Let me drill these out. Again, I said I'm going to use that 1 1/8 to drill a hole, and then I'll show y'all guys the 8mm bolts behind there. Okay guys, so I just drilled. Got this bolt right here that was already drilled. Got my 1/8 right there. And got the 3rd bolt right there. Like I said, pretty easy. If you do it with 1 1/8 or 1 1/2, you'll have extra room in case you get a little to the left, a little to the right. You know, give yourself some insurance just in case you miss it a little bit. You can go ahead and have room to go up or down, whatever. This one probably could have went up a little bit more, but I got perfect room to get that one there. Good room on this one, and that one was already there. So let me take these 3 bolts out and show you guys how easy it is to pull the motor out. You're gonna want to disconnect the plug. I already did that and tucked it away so y'all guys can see a little bit better. This is the other plug that it goes to, and it's kind of strapped here. So I already unplugged these 2 plugs. Just push this one up in here. What you can do is you're gonna reach in here, grab the motor that's in the back here, and unbolt it, and it should come out. So let me show you guys how to do that. It's an 8mm bolt. With that bigger hole, you got room to put your finger there so you don't drop your bolts. So then what we're gonna do is gonna grab in here, grab the motor, and you're gonna pull towards the back of the door, get the gear off it. And then it slides right out. There it is, guys. 30 minutes, maybe less to even get this out. The other way, you had to take this whole mechanism out, turn it in, turn it around, and to get this out. Now, you would have to do that if your teeth are broken in there on your regulator, but in my case, it's just the motor, and this is the easiest way to get the motor out. I'm gonna pull it apart, just show you guys what it looks like inside. I mean, most of y'all guys know these problems that are watching these videos with the plastic that just breaks in there and the carnage. But I'm gonna show you guys real quick so that way you know how to fix them also. Okay guys, so here's the motor. Now on these motors there's a little clip right here that you have to take off. You don't need no special tools. You could just literally push it out with a pick or something like that, and that'll get the clip out, so that way you can remove the mechanism. This should come off easy, this side. And what I do is I just turn that to the side. There's a little clip in here you can take out, but there it is guys. There's the carnage. Again, these are very common in the Ford OBS windows, front and rear. It's just nothing but plastic. These little plastics are usually, what I've heard, where they're beads that go in here, that when the motor gets tension on it, it engages the worm and the gear. So let me get that little clip off. Don't lose your clips. Put that right there. So there, you'll be able to take this main gear off. As you can tell, there's no balls or anything there. That's why it was just chirping away. Now to get this out, get the main gear out so you can clean everything out. On here, there's a little O-ring gasket right there. And you just gotta pick that off so everything can come off. Let me see if I can do it on camera. There goes that little O-ring. Save that. Now this whole thing should just be able to come right out. Let me get a grip on it. And there it is. Now you're gonna want to go ahead and clean all this plastic carnage out, which I'll do right now, and then I'll show you how the fix is. Also, make sure you clean out the worm gear that's inside here. There's some plastic in here also that gets caught. Just make sure you guys clean all the way around. You don't want no problems with this gearing later on. All right guys, we'll see you when I get it all cleaned out and get the fix going. All right guys, so I got the motors apart. Like y'all saw, I ended up cleaning up all the grooves and the gear, cleaned all that out, cleaned all the old grease and little bits of plastic that was around here, cleaned all that out, cleaned out the motor. So I saw a post saying that you could buy actually the retainers, the real ones that actually go in here. So I went to AutoZone and O'Reilly's, and they did carry the model number that they said online, which is 74410 by Dorman. There's the model number right there. Comes with 3 of these little retainers, plastic ones, same thing that they came in. I tried putting them in with the sprocket, and it was a little too tight. So I don't think that's really the one that works for this, even though it shows you in the bag that's what it's for. It might be a little too thick, the tolerance, so it really doesn't fit in there. You had to really shove it in there to get it fit. So what I'm doing, instead of just using the nuts or the fuel line, instead I've already bought these. These were $5 a piece. So for a set of 2, it's 10 bucks. So what I started doing was just basically shaving down the little Dorman and getting it a little bit, getting it thinner so it can fit inside with the sprocket. So I kind of gotten them pretty good size. You can see I'm putting them in right here, and then you put the sprocket on top and just get it lined up, and it kind of goes in pretty easy. There it goes right there, without much trouble. and that's like OEM right there. So the way I did that was, you could do this, or you could do it the socket way if you want. Like I said, I already had bought these thinking that these were going to be the ones. There might be another part number that is the correct ones, but again, this is what I'm doing. So here's a stock one right here. Let me show you. Here's one out of the package, and then here's one that I've already done. I know you're not going to be able to tell, but it's just the slightest of differences. Not much. Not much of a difference. So what I'm doing is just, I got a screw here, knock the head off it. I'm screwing it on the bottom where there's a little dimple. Getting it on there nice and tight. And I'm just using one of my sanding belts and laying it on the table. And then just basically sanding off just thousandths of an inch off to get it to clear. Once I got one of them fitting perfect, one set, I'm just matching up the same width, the same diameter. So this is how I'm doing it pretty much. What I could do, I guess, is I could maybe scan this and put it in a PDF form, and then if y'all want, print it out, and you can just kind of match it up if you want to do it this way. Stick it on there and see if it fits within the picture of it. You can do it that way, or just do a trial by error and do it get it to fit, and then just, you know, match it up like what I'm doing to all those. So this is how I'm doing it. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way. But I'm just basically running my drill and just sanding it down. Sanding it, checking that I'm straight. Checking here. Need to go a little more. Doesn't take long. You want to make sure you're not sanding it as a taper. You want to make sure it's all parallel the way you're going. And that's looking pretty straight to me. And then just to clean out the burrs, I'm just using a razor. Go out and clean those out so that way everything sits flush in the gearbox. So that's the one I just sanded on the bottom. That's the one I previously sanded on top. They're looking pretty close right there. So let's test fit it. We got 3 right here. I am going to pack this with grease, all-purpose grease, but just to see if it fits, we're just putting them in now, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put this in, sprocket, fits in perfect. You can see barely any wiggle room in there. That's gonna work perfect right there. Again, you could do the socket style. Like I said, I already had bought these, so this is the way I'm gonna do it, and it's more OEM like this. So now what I'll do is just pack it up, put them together, and then go back and install them. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and pack this with grease. I'm just using general purpose grease. It's the amber color. Just gonna use my finger. I'll pack it on there real good. So down here, just on the shaft, and the worm drive. Set in just like that. Then we're gonna put these in there. Probably put some grease around these so they stick. Stick to the side for you. Grease all over that. Got my O-ring right here. Grease that up. Put that on the shaft. Get that set in place. It's right there. Put this on. Sprocket. Fits in perfect. Put some more grease on top. Gears. Okay, you can get our C-clip. Go ahead and push that in. There it is. And you're pretty much done. We'll put this cover back on. Seal it up. The bolts we took off in the cab are going to drill into here and seal everything up further. This is just going to be held on by that plastic piece right there. But that's your assembled motor, guys. Should be good for a long time now. I'm going to show you guys how to install it, reinstall it, and show you how the doors work. Okay guys, here's the motor. Got it all packed up in grease. We're about to install it right now. It's going to be the same way we did it before. You're going to come in and line these bolts up. Stick your hand in here. You want to fish this connector line through the top bolt. And the easy way to line this up is just line up your bolt holes. Just like that. Alright, after we line up all the bolts and we get one in there, we're going to get our socket set. 8 mil. Just tighten that up. Gonna get your other one. We're going to connect our connector back up. This slides right back in here. this here. All right. Now we're gonna put our switch right back on here and we're gonna test the motor. Okay, we're gonna put the switch back in right here. Let me turn the ignition on and we'll test the motor, see how it. What I also like to do is put a little bit of grease in the track right here where the arm rotates right there. On the bottom, I like to put some grease right here, and then also I'll put some grease on the teeth right here just to make sure everything's lubed up and moving good. But there it is, guys. Working rear door. Well, guys, that's gonna be it. I got the door panel installed, windows still working nice, going down and up. It's gonna be great for the summertime. Has a little slow down. I think it's because this track is all messed up right here and it's giving it on a little bind. But that's gonna be it. I'm gonna have more videos out on the Ford OBS and some future project cars also. Give this a like, comment, subscribe. I haven't seen a video on YouTube on how to do it with the drill method. I've only seen it where you have to take out the whole motor and the regulator out all through that one little hole. So I thought I'd get this video out to y'all. And we'll see y'all guys on the next video. Bye.
Feel uninvited, left home in West LA, I'm not excited, so uninspired, on my way to play the Bay.